You ever get so obsessed with someone that you start narrating fake conversations in your head like you're both starring in some Netflix drama that doesn't even exist? Like you're in season 3 of a show only you are watching, and the plotline is literally just you arguing with them in the shower about something they never even said. Yeah, welcome to the human condition. Don't worry, you're not crazy. Well, you are, but so is everyone else. Every human being at some point has been the unpaid screenwriter, director, and lead actor in the imaginary film called They'll Finally Realize I'm the One. And spoiler alert, the season finale never comes. Obsession is that sneaky little parasite that crawls into your brain, sets up camp, and refuses to leave. It doesn't just rent a room, it becomes your nosy roommate. It eats your energy, hijacks your focus, and whispers in your ear at 3 a.m. like, hey, let's check their Instagram one more time. And you're like, no, not tonight. I'm stronger than this. 2 seconds later, you're deep scrolling to pictures from 2017, accidentally liking a post from their family barbecue, and suddenly you've got a new anxiety disorder. And that's the thing about obsession in relationships. It doesn't knock, it just shows up, uninvited, like that one friend who always eats all your fries but never buys their own. Suddenly, every thought is about them, what they're doing, who they're with, why they left you on read for 6 hours like you're some side quest in their life. And your brain? Oh, your brain turns into the worst best friend imaginable. Part hype man, part executioner. It's like, don't worry, maybe they're just busy. Then 2 seconds later, or maybe they've already moved on and forgot you exist. Thanks, brain. That's exactly what I needed at midnight while I'm eating cold pizza on the floor. Here's why obsession feels so powerful. Science time, but I'll keep it human. Your brain loves rewards. It's obsessed with them. An obsession? It's like a broken slot machine that keeps spitting out crumbs just often enough to keep you hooked. One notification? Boom, your heart's racing. One like on your story? Suddenly, you're Shakespeare writing sonnets. They reply with a two-word sounds good? Oh, you're basically engaged. Your brain throws a full-blown parade over breadcrumbs because it's not about the person. It's about the high. You don't crave them. You crave the feeling of being noticed, that little surge of, maybe I matter. It's not romance. It's biochemical chaos with Wi Fi. And you know who profits from that chaos? Celebrities. Taylor Swift built an empire off obsession. Every song is basically a diary entry from the trenches of replaying texts at 2 a.m. And we love it because she put music to our madness. Kanye? Obsession on steroids. My guy literally turned heartbreak into a business model, dragging the whole world into his spiral like a one-man soap opera. Even Justin Bieber. People fainted just looking at him. That's obsession on a cultural scale. We glorify it when it's in music videos or tabloid headlines. But when it's in your actual life, yeah, it's not poetic. It's tragic comedy. You're not in a movie. You're in your bathroom crying over someone who still hasn't Venmoed you back for that Uber. And let's be brutally honest. Obsession makes you do the dumbest things. You ever reread a text so many times you could quote it word for word like it's testimony in a trial? Like, he said, sounds good. What does that mean? Is he thrilled? Is he done with me? Does good mean good? Or does it mean good with a side of passive aggression? Bro, it means he's probably hungry and doesn't want to type. But obsession turns emojis into hieroglyphics, like you need a Rosetta Stone just to decode a smiley face. Typing bubbles? They become the stock market. You're pacing like a Wall Street broker, praying the message doesn't disappear. You're zooming in on screenshots like you're analyzing crime scene evidence. That's what obsession does. It doesn't just steal logic. It replaces it with vibes, delusions, and an endless subscription to What If magazine. And the sick part? You know you look crazy. You know it's irrational. But it feels so real that you can't stop. You're like a detective in a case that doesn't even exist, chasing clues that were never there, convinced that one more scroll, one more replay, one more just checking text will finally solve the puzzle. Spoiler, it won't. But obsession doesn't care. It's not here to solve, it's here to keep you hooked. And you know why it feels impossible to stop? The Zeigarnik effect. Fancy psychology term that basically means your brain hates cliffhangers. If something feels unfinished, your brain keeps looping it. That's why you can't stop thinking about why they ghosted you. Your brain is like, hey, maybe if we replay that last conversation for the 300th time, we'll solve it. Spoiler, you won't. But try telling that to your nervous system. Here's the real truth bomb. Obsession isn't love. It feels like love, sure. The racing heart, the sweaty palms, the late night spirals where you're staring at the ceiling, rehearsing what you'd say if they magically texted, I miss you. But that's not love. That's adrenaline. That's fear. That's craving. Real love? Real love is calm. It's steady. It doesn't feel like a panic attack disguised as a romance movie. Real love doesn't keep you up at night refreshing their profile like it's the stock market. If being with someone feels like you're walking barefoot on Legos while holding your breath, that's not passion. That's obsession. An obsession will drain you dry while convincing you it's keeping you alive. It's like drinking salt water. The more you sip, the thirstier you get, until you're dehydrated, dizzy, and wondering why you thought it was a good idea in the first place. And I get it. You think you're chasing them, but you're not. You're chasing certainty. You want to know if you mattered. You want to know if all those nights you stayed awake imagining their future with you weren't just wasted electricity. You want closure, and not the kind people preach about, like closure comes from within. Nah, you want their closure, their words, their approval. You want the version of yourself you think you'd finally be if they said, you're the one, and that's why you can't let go. It's not about them. It's about proving yourself to yourself, which is why obsession hurts so damn much, because every time they don't give you what you want, it's like proof that you don't measure up. Let's get real. We've all had that one person, the one who lived rent-free in your head like they owned a penthouse with a rooftop pool and didn't even pay utilities. You stalked them so much, you basically qualified for a detective badge. You analyzed their Spotify playlists like it was an encrypted love letter. You replayed voice notes like you were listening for clues in a hostage negotiation. Your friends told you you deserve better, and you said, yeah, but not from them. You became your own unpaid FBI agent, and for what? For someone who probably didn't even notice you switched your whole wardrobe to match their aesthetic. And here's the wildest part. When you finally let go, you look back like, wait, I lost sleep over that? Over someone who couldn't even spell your correctly? Over someone whose big life goal was beating their high score on Candy Crush? Obsession distorts reality. It makes average people look like gods and turns crumbs into five-course meals. They gave you a thumbs-up emoji once, and you built a wedding Pinterest board. That's what obsession does. It doesn't just trick you. It convinces you that the trick is real. But time always exposes the truth. Let's sprinkle in some honesty. Obsession isn't always about wanting them. Sometimes it's about avoiding yourself. Because as long as you're replaying their texts, you don't have to face your loneliness. As long as you're decoding their Instagram stories like they're ancient scrolls, you don't have to sit with the silence in your own life. They become the perfect distraction from the hardest question you could ever ask. What do I do if I only have me? Which means letting go isn't just about losing them. It's about meeting yourself. And let's be real. Sometimes that's scarier than losing them ever was. So how do you break free? First, stop feeding the loop. No more checking their page like it's the morning paper. No more just one last text like you're some romantic martyr. No more pretending you're casually asking about their day when you're secretly trying to see if they still love you. Obsession feeds on attention. Starve it. And when the cravings hit, and they will, remind yourself this isn't a love story. It's withdrawal. Your brain isn't telling you, this is the one. It's telling you, I miss the high. And withdrawal always passes if you stay strong long enough. Here's the flex. It's not who you can't stop thinking about. It's who you become when you finally stop. That's when you get your energy back. That's when you start creating again. That's when you glow different. That's when you look back like, wow, I almost let flip-flops and cargo shorts ruin my peace of mind. And you laugh. Because healing always comes with a laugh. The moment you laugh at what you cried over, that's when you know obsession lost. And let me say this, peace isn't boring. Peace is luxury. Peace is sleeping through the night without checking your phone like you're on call for the emotional emergency room. Peace is realizing you don't need their validation to feel worthy. That's the real jackpot. That's the kind of wealth nobody can buy, because it's an inside job. So here's my challenge. Think about the one person who's been haunting your brain, the one who's had VIP access to your headspace for way too long. Now picture what your life would look like if you finally evicted them. Be honest with yourself. You might even want to say it out loud, or better yet, drop it below. Because the moment you name it, the moment you admit it, obsession starts to lose its power. Because obsession only wins when you keep it quiet. When you keep it in your head, it thrives. But the second you own it, the second you call it out, you take the keys back. And that's the move. That's how you go from prisoner to free. And let me leave you with this. Obsession doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. But choosing peace over chaos, that makes you powerful. That's you realizing you're not a side character in someone else's movie. You're the main character in your own. And the plot? It gets a whole lot better once you stop chasing people who were never running toward you in the first place. So yeah, that's obsession. Messy, addictive, sometimes hilarious in hindsight. Always human, and absolutely conquerable. And if you made it all the way here, you already know it's time.